April 27th, Rotoball Patch Compound. The sun's starting to set a little bit. Sorry about the glare. I'm gonna bring you up to date what I got going on so far. Hold tight. We'll start at the stop sign patch. So obviously the heating cable's in. And I've done another till. And I spread some preen, which is a pre-emergent herbicide, on top of my soil. Not real close to the watermelons. And yes, there are watermelons in the ground. Watermelons, that's right, plural. One about the same spot as last season, and then this one down here. So this is going to share the real estate of this patch is going to be with a 150 square foot plant, which is a squash as well. So 2 big watermelons, squash plant, no room for field pumpkins. And this is the grow for this season in this area. Let's go ahead and check out this little girl down here. Yeah, not bad. A little bit of brown spotting and whatnot, but we got beautiful growing tip. And it's protected at night by ye old bucket and brick. Let's see if I can see the graft. You can kind of see the graft there a little bit. That was a V-notch graft. Real nice graft, tickled with that. And I'm not worried about a little bit of brown spotting at this point. That started happening actually in my grow tent downstairs. That's the reason they got ran outside real quick. I can't do them as well as I can my squash and pumpkins, so outside they go. Oh yeah, by the way, both of these are 242.6 rotoballs grafted on GL1 rootstock. And I'm pretty sure both are V-graft. That one's not as pretty looking on that side. It's beautiful on the other side, but obviously have a good connection, so we'll see how it shakes out. Oh, the weeds. So, you know, pre-emergent, yeah, but the stuff that got tilled up, obviously it popped back through. I hit that with a herbicide today. We'll say a herbicide. So those should die off in the next few days, and I'm just gonna stay off this soil. This gets the least amount of walking of any of my soil. It is ultra fluffy. Put in 2 large bags of perlite. You can see some of the perlite sitting on top. So, and I did run preen everywhere, not just my watermelons. I put it where the 150 squash is going to be, so we'll see how that shakes out. Right, Midnight? Meow. So the main patch, look at them huts. Yeah, we're up, baby. I don't have a frostbite plant out. Now, I do have a few bonus plants that I need to consider as frostbite plants. We'll see how that shakes out. But I want to talk about these huts a little bit instead of the nonsense. So obviously anchored into the ground with T-posts and ratchet straps. The hut itself is a Shelter Logic greenhouse hut. Now I keep the end walls, and I got rid of the over-covering fabric several years ago and traded that out for this year as greenhouse plastic. Actually, I've used just Lowe's drop plastic in the past, but I've found that this stuff, my goodness, look how clear it is. And that's great, letting a lot more light through, but these girls heat up a lot quicker, which is okay. I have the automatic window there on the top side. Let's go ahead and see if we can jump into one of these huts. I'm gonna reach down here. I'm notorious for this being a terrible idea. Oh. All right, I got it without too much crazy effort. Oh, we got a squash in the ground. Yeah, baby. What is it? So this one is the 1415 Ricky Jolivet. I've got heat running right now. Isn't that crazy? Which makes sense. We're shut up here, and it's been pretty cold. Let's talk about what's going on in this hut. All right, so I have an Inkbird. It's a heating and cooling Inkbird. I've got off the timer apparatus, and I just went to a heating cooling unit to switch on and off specific items in this hot hut. The ceramic heater runs independently. 72 degrees, that old girl kicks on. The halogen and the chicken rearing lamp, they kick on, I think 70. So we're, if you look right now, we're at 72. and 70s to kick on. The cooling apparatus is that Vivo Sun, just a can fan really, running to the outside to the inside. So it hits 70 degrees and or 75, that thing kicks on. Obviously that window is going to open up, and more than likely I have my venting open at that point too. But let's look at that plant. Nobody cares about that. Oh, looky there, Rick. Isn't she beautiful? Oh yes, oh yes. I want to keep watching it. A little bit of weirdness here, but I'm not too excited about that. I'm gonna hold tight. She's a nice, good sized plant too. Yeah. And in a week or so, I might have a real plant. But for now, I'm real happy. It's my little itty bitty plant. Oh, I'm gonna pause this, or at least stop us for the next hut. Hold tight. All right, before we jump into hut number 2, and I got her pre-zipped, by the way. Yeah, that's nice. You can see a little bit of footprints here and there. I did end up doing a herbicide as opposed to retilling any of the errant weeds here or there. And I got most of them the first go around because they're very sparse. It's just hit and miss. I went ahead and did the remainder today while everybody was buttoned up and the herbicide couldn't get access to my plants. With that, I did walk on the soil. Oh man, that's a bummer. That's okay. This soil is going to be tilled again because I have a mustard sown on it. And anybody who watches my videos knows that I like to run a mustard ahead of my plants. And I till it nicely before my plants get there. You know, I was talking with somebody, Ethan, my good friend Ethan, about how mustard murders biologicals and really inhibits seed germination, and it truly does. If you've watched any of Jerry Rose's grow last year, I mean, his patch, night and day difference on germination of seeds where he utilized the mustard meal. So I take that into account that, hey, whenever I till this over and murder this mustard down, it needs to be a week away from where my plants are going to be, roots and everything. So some of the stuff that gets spread closer, it'll just get mowed over. You know, maybe I do I mow it over and then go back and till a little bit, but the stuff further down, you know, it'll actually get a mow and a till. Don't you dare go in there. All right, let's get inside that hut. Heating cables, obviously, with the probe running inside. The probe runs right through there, and it's down about 10 inches. And this whole area is heating cables, of course. That's the other probe running the Inkbird. That is the heating and cooling. Same song and dance in here, where the ceramic is independent, but the halogen and the can fan and of course the chicken rearing bulb are set up on that Inkbird. Oh, but who cares about that? Let's talk about Cindy's 1592. So Cindy's 1592 is a little bit leggy, but I'm cool with that. She's been that way from the start. Nice, good looking plant. Good size. I mean, huge cots like you'd expect. Really like to see the growth of the main potentially there. The second true leaf. Good looking plant. Real happy with this. I have a couple extra Cindy's, and I would say that the 1592 that's in here is going to do me well. And those extra ones, I'm probably going to find either a spot in the 150 square foot or the porch pumpkin spot, which would be a porch squash this year. Oh, goodness. All right, time out for review. Fully tilled, huts are up, watermelon are in the ground. 2 plants this year, grafted to GL1 stock, V-notch. The 242.6 Rotovol, which is pretty cool, and then 2 squash and huts back here. The Cindy at hut number 2, 1592, and Ricky Joe Levette right up here, hut number 1, the 1415. So let it be a good season. It's all green here except for the tomatoes. Thanks for watching, guys. Doc out.